Coming up next is Mathis Bailey.
Thanks for coming out tonight. I'm going to be reading Confused Spice, which is my debut novel. Just came out in September. Thank you. I'd like to give a special thanks to Glad Day Bookshop for inviting me here tonight to my first Naked Heart Festival. So thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. The novel is loosely based on my experience here in Toronto. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I'm not here because of Donald Trump, just let you guys know. And so the story is centered around two guys. One is African American. He's from Detroit, Michigan, like me. And so he moves here to Toronto with his spouse. They're not really on good terms with each other. They decide to take a break. Meanwhile, a handsome Indo-Canadian guy moves into Pierre's apartment. Pierre like what he sees, and so when VJ catches Pierre's attention, he knows that Pierre is a cook. So Pierre is propositioned to teach VJ how to cook, and from there they become very close and very intimate, and they share secrets, and they go on the spiritual and culinary adventure. The story takes place in Toronto, and it goes over to India. So I will be reading the first chapter of Confused Spice, and this is where Pierre is coming home from French class, and he meets BJ for the first time. "Not enough butter," shouted the French instructor from across the room. It was my first day of French cooking class, and learning how to make flaky dough with loads of butter was worth my $350. I love butter, and so do my hip and ass. I must say, I tried every Paula Deen recipe underneath the sun. She was my Julia Child. That is until she romanticized the whole back in the good old days plantation style wedding thing. What was that about? Oh, Paula. Anyway, I couldn't wait to get home so I can practice this emulsifying techniques to make this silky chocolate ganache. It was my next week's lesson class. As the bus rattled down Midland Road, I looked down at my class notes and read the ingredients: eggs, milk, cocoa powder, and butter. I made a mental note to pick up more butter. I shoved the grease-stained loose-leaf papers back in the notebook and stared out the window, reflecting on how many strawberry tarts I shoved into my mouth. Guilt suddenly hung over me like an ominous dark cloud. That was a gazillion hours on the treadmill for sure. The husky Quebec accent of the instructor suddenly came to mind. Too much cornstarch, too much sugar, not enough butter. Measure, measure, measure. I must say, I struggle in measuring out all those damn ingredients on a topsy-turvy scale, but I managed and came out on top. I even managed to garner some praise from my fellow classmates, who wore crisp white aprons and puffy-looking shop hats. I thought this day couldn't get any better until I arrived to my apartment that evening. Nothing prepared me for what I saw. Something far more delicious than this chocolate ganache recipe tucked away in my shoulder bag. He was tall, dark, and handsome. Cliche? Yes. But by God, he fit the mold. Everything I like in a guy. His skin glistened like rich mahogany wood. His hair was freshly lined in a close-cut fade. He stepped onto the elevator behind me, and we stood in silence. I could smell his natural sweet body scent as if he was just coming from a light workout. His warm-up shorts hung on his lean, muscular frame like an NBA player. He glanced my way, catching my stare. I quickly looked away, pretending to gaze mindlessly up at the red digital numbers counting up. It took every ounce of me, every ounce of my self-control not to look back at him. Yet, I could feel his eyes on me. Come on, say something witty, Pierre. The elevator jolted and knocked me out of my reverie. It started to ascend, and I noticed he hadn't pressed the button for his floor. Should I say something? Before I could, he spoke. Hey, my name is Jay, he said, flashing a gorgeous smile. I always see you in the gym on the treadmill. You sure can run for a long time, yo. How long have you been running like that? For a few months, I muttered, thinking, he's seen me before? How can I have possibly not noticed this beautiful stud? I wish I could run like that, but my diet has been horrible lately. I need to get back into shape. I examined his body, and underneath that t-shirt, he looked well in shape to me. So I told him, you look well in shape to me. I gotta finish this. We have to be running all the time. But okay. Ha, thanks, man. I tried. Modest? Or was he just being cocky? Either way, it fit him well like a tailored Italian suit. He looked roughly 25, give or take, not much younger than me. The elevator stopped on the 8th floor, and a plump white man stepped on, parting us like the Red Sea. Jay's beautiful body scent now was being masked by a box of Chinese takeout. Unable to think of anything else to say, I looked back at the numbers on the elevator. My stop was 18, another 10 to go. Great, a countdown. Now I was racing against the clock. I was completely tongue-tied. The elevator halted at 18 and the door slid open. I smiled meekly at Jay as I stepped on to my floor. I inward flung expletives at myself, not thinking fast enough on my feet. I knew I was going to regret not making a move. There was a possibility that I would never see this beautiful man again. I turned toward my apartment in a gloomy state until I heard a silky voice come over my shoulder. Ain't that something, yo? I guess we're neighbors. Thank you.